Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided to the Co-Star, the official newspaper of the Borough of Belmar, and the Asbury Park Press on December 22nd, 2021, and notice of this meeting was posted on the bulletin board of the municipal building. Councilman Brennan?
Here.
Councilman Kinney?
Here.
Mayor Walsifer?
Here.
Councilman McCracken?
Here.
Councilman Carvelli?
Here.
You could join me in saluting the flag of our great nation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
If everybody could just remain standing for a moment of silence for our troops and all their families and our first responders. And I just want to mention a retired police officer, John Colangelo, has passed away since our last meeting. Thank you. Okay, for workshop, we have two things on for workshop tonight. First one is we're going to see a presentation from the Eastport project, 508 Main Street.
Abundance of caution, and as there's interest, I need to recuse from this presentation.
Greg, you guys want to come up? We could sit down in the audience because of, we put it up on the screen.
All set? All right. Speaking to the mic, I guess. So I'm Brian Brzezinskis, the architect and the owner of Grasso Design Group. And first step is we're going to give you a brief overview of some of the architectural aspects to this project that we're proposing, which I could take this off, right?
Yeah.
So first, I should probably show you the site plan. The site plan here shows the orientation of the project in relationship to Main Street. This is adjacent to the current building that's on 5th Avenue. This is on the 6th Avenue corner, but abutting that building. With the relationship to the site design, you could see that the main access into the parking area is located on the side avenue, not on Main Street. There are several parking spaces that are located on Main Street that are parallel spaces, but the majority of our parking is related to either on-site parking in the back of the building, as well as on-site parking underneath the building structure. That main area where you see that it designates Lot 10 and has the arrows for the 24-foot driveway, that is all proposed parking underneath our structure. There'll be screening methods on the Main Street side, as well as 2 retail spaces that are shown on the drawing, which I'll show you in more detail on the architectural set. But the main concept of the site design with parking is a certain amount of regulated under-building parking spaces for each one of the residential tenants, as well as additional overflow parking outside of the building. So now from the architectural perspective, what we have here is on the ground floor plan that's adjacent to Main Street. We have 2 retail spaces that are facing Main Street. Those are located, if you're looking at the bottom right drawing, which I could zoom in on, So this is the proposed first floor plan where you see retail spaces 101 and 102. Those two spaces are both facing Main Street. Space 102 is located at the corner of Main Street and the Avenue, as well as behind it, the main entrance to the building, which is a foyer access that comes off the avenue that has one of the stairwells that lead up to the residential, as well as the mail room and the elevator service that also has access to the underneath parking so that residents, when parking in those spaces, can come directly into their building and up to their unit. Also on this first floor plan are 2 residential units that will be located on the ground floor. Those are only single story in height, and they're located in the 2 left quadrants in the plan. Those are each 2-bedroom units that would be smaller in square footage than the units that we're proposing upstairs, would have their main access from the ground floor, and they would be some of the smaller units in the development. So above that, we have 2 additional stories, the 2nd and the 3rd floor, each consisting of multiple units that are basically 2 bedrooms and a den. Those units that are all along Main Street have access to wider units with larger dimensions and square footage to capitalize on the windows and the views out towards Main Street. And then as they wrap around the corner and go to the back, they have the units that are in the back, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units that are all facing that parking lot area. Now, aesthetically, from the exterior for the building, knowing that we had already had development adjacent to us on Main Street, we tried to characteristically complement some of the elements while at the same time taking into account that we want this building to appear differently. So we had the unique opportunity that we happened to be involved in the development of that project, so we came in to try to incorporate how we get something to take some of the exterior roof lines with the hips and the gables and try to mix those materials as well as design lines into each other so that we could aesthetically come up with something that complements the Main Street sight lines, but at the same time is uniquely different in style. So that's where we come up with our resulting image here, which is the exterior facade of the building along Main Street. And as mentioned earlier, we have to the bottom left one of the retail spaces. To the bottom right is the 2nd retail space that faces Main Street. And the intermediate ground floor area between the 2 is that screened under building parking spaces. So there is no access out onto Main Street from that underground parking, not underground, but under building parking area. But it does have a certain level of screening so that you're not looking at the cars that are underneath there. And then, as mentioned earlier as well, above that, on the next 2 floors above, we have 2 different levels of residences, mimicking floor plans of each from that 2nd to 3rd floor, with a lot of the units on the Main Street having a lot of windows, views, and balconies out onto that space. All of the proposed units do include a lot of balconies so that the facade is stepped back and it's not all up against the main property lines, while at the same time trying to take advantage of looking out onto that Main Street corridor.
These units are going to be individually owned.
Let me just stop you for 1 minute. Just name so that.
Hi, Greg Capalco, 70. The residential and the commercial units will be condominiums. They'll all be individually owned. All the units are approximately on the 2nd. Under 1,500 square foot. We felt it was more important that we added more parking on the site. That's why we went with the interior parking garage, and that's pretty much it. Brett, anything?
This project, and maybe Christine, you can just give us some of your thoughts on what you saw about this project.
Sure, I'll come over here. So this project is in the Seaport redevelopment.
Need any change, like an ordinance change or anything like that?
No, there would be no amendments to the plan.
For public to use?
That's correct.
Or is that included in the 2.1 calculation?
There are the calculations. The four we've added on Main Street, there's only one existing on Main Street right now, and the 6th Avenue side, there's only 2 parking spaces currently that exist between Main Street and I believe the 614, or excuse me, 612 6th Avenue. So the retail calculations in the Seaport redevelopment are 3 per thousand square feet. We have just around or under 3,000 square feet, so we only really need 9 spaces. So we're actually creating, an extra 5 spaces to accommodate the retail.
Can you go back to the site plan? What's adjacent on 1201, lot 1201? Is that? Yeah,
That's single-family home.
it's single family.
Almost identical to the 5th Avenue Flats plot. Their property line comes to a fence, and there's a residential house just to the east of it.
And what's on this lot now, these lots?
Currently, right now, most of it is a parking lot. You have Jersey Shore Auto Detailing at 612, or 614, excuse me, 614, and you have the current Acropolis and single-family house that is between the 508 lot and the 5th Avenue Flats building.
I hear people complain about the angled parking. Is that something we should be concerned about?
Their proposed parking meets borough standards and DOT standards.
Okay.
Okay. So I know angle parking is a little different, but when you have it on one side of the street versus both sides of the street, generally it works a little bit better. So we've tried to encourage that type of design where we can. But if it's already on one side of the street and you try and add it on the other side, it makes things a little tighter.
Okay.
But that seems to work really well.
And they are proposing to eliminate the curb cut on Main Street, so that creates more parallel parking spaces on Main Street. And I believe are you getting rid of a curb cut on 6th Avenue also?
Yeah, currently, right now, there are two gigantic curb cuts on Main Street, and a curb cut, actually, there's two curb cuts on the 6th Avenue side. One, which is an exit driveway from the 508 lot, and the other is a double exit driveway out from the Jersey Shore Auto Detail building. So right now, there's literally 2 parking spaces on that entire side of the street.
That's actually a triple bay curb cut.
Yeah, that's the one in front of the Jersey Shore Auto Detail is actually a triple cut.
Right. So I know it complies with the Seaport redevelopment, like you said, but do you guys have any concerns with this design at all? No?
No.
We've been through design exercises with the applicant. They've gone very positively. Currently, their application doesn't need any variances. It meets all the standards of our ordinance as they're proposing it.
And this will go through the planning board?
It will eventually go to the planning board if you guys find it acceptable.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else?
I just have one question. So, Greg, one of the things I think that's added a lot of charm to our town, and it's been very practical for COVID, is outdoor dining. And we've gotten some concerns from residents and some feedback from the ADA committee about the width of sidewalks when tables and umbrellas and stuff are put out there. I can't read the width on this, but I'm just thinking for these retail locations, if they were restaurants or dining, is there enough room on the sidewalk for them to put tables and umbrellas out so people can enjoy outside dining on a nice day?
In regards to the retail on site, these are owners. These are condominiums owners.
Right.
We expect. One of the things we potentially want to stay away from is a full-time restaurant. Now, we would love to have, and we've spoken already, potentially to have like Strollo's at some point move over, because they're currently my tenant now, and we'd like them to move over to take the corner of 6th. So you'd have a food use. What we have out in front, we have a 15-foot sidewalk, and I believe you would need a 4-foot egress, which if any tables would be put out there, they would be on the Main Street side, which could almost go to the north in front of the parking garage, where there could be 3 or 4 tables. But with condos and without an exterior or second floor parking garage, we believe that cooking on that site might be detrimental, to the homeowners there. And we'd be looking for a soft, either retail, office, some sort of use in the retail that abuts the Fifth Avenue Flats building. Also, we also like to take concern, the parking. There's plenty of parking. There's more than enough parking on site for the residential tenants, and limiting the right tenant mix. The 14 street parking spaces would be more than enough for the type of retail that we envision, in that location.
I wanted to say, I really appreciate, I'm the parking hawk, right? So I really appreciate the fact that we don't have to deal with, there's not enough parking here. I really appreciate that you did all that. I had a little trouble seeing until the presentation, understanding how you were handling that parking. Because for a little while, I thought it was an underground garage. But the fact that it's a ground level, I think, is really the best way to go. As far as dining on the sidewalk, you could look at what's in front of the Acropolis right now. There's enough room for people to get by there, and they have some tables and chairs. So
Absolutely. Matter of fact, that's one of the things that we talked about. Originally, before we met with the planners, we actually had an exit entry on Main Street out of the parking garage, and that was not that it wouldn't have worked because there was an actual curb cut in that location anyway. But the idea of keeping the entrance and exit onto 6th Avenue would allow us to have a 40 or 50-foot dining area if that's what the use maintained. Now, again, I'm not saying that I'm not saying that it's going to happen, because again, we're looking for potential owners of the retail, not tenants. I mean, we would take tenants necessarily for the short term, but we're looking for owners, long-term owners, and there is no question that we have ample space, even if it's only 8 or 9 feet wide, to put small tables in a covered area that could run. Again, the store width, Brian, what's that, about 40-foot frontage for the store itself? That's 40 feet, and the parking garage is 75 feet wide, so that's ample to put in a covered dining for space and still have plenty of room for a legal walkway.
I tell you, my only question really, it's just that everybody else that's been coming to us is talking about they're doing apartments. They're doing apartments. No one seems to want to do condos anymore. I'm really surprised. Are you confident with that model? You think the market's going to work for you that way?
Brett Ursey, 404 River Ave, Belmar. Very. We developed Westport
Yes.
in the worst economy that I've seen since the '87 crash. I don't have a problem. I mean, I'm just being straight.
So you're confident?
Yeah, very confident.
Well, there, the answer is yes.
There's a
Okay,
great
that's
demand
good.
for this in the borough.
uh,
This will be pure ratables, nothing from the town.
Right.
Yeah.
The only other comment I wanted to make is I'm not concerned about that diagonal parking, especially that direction on 6. I don't think you're going to have any kind of problem. I think that'll work fine. Thank you.
All right, April, we have to take a vote on that?
What's a
Move
workshop?
along?
No, at this point, because it's only a workshop, we would prepare a resolution, designated them as the redeveloper, at which point it would be presented at the next council meeting for you to vote on and to provide public comment upon it.
Okay. All right, so we'll wait till the next council meeting, and then it would be by resolution?
Correct. You appoint a redeveloper by resolution.
All right.
And what about the developers?
So, yeah, in the resolution, we can prepare a resolution where it's contingent upon the execution of a redeveloper's plan. And then you also, if it's inclined to the borough, the applicant or the designated redeveloper would be able to simultaneously proceed before the planning board to get preliminary approvals during the process of negotiating the redeveloper's agreement, or alternatively, get the redeveloper's agreement written in stone and then present a conforming application to the planning board for preliminary and final approval. So at that point, it would be up to how the borough would like to decide, but the first step is to designate them as a redeveloper through a resolution if that's how the borough wants to proceed.
Greg, where would you have a sales office? Or
To start the project, we would either use the northern retail potentially to start out as a sales office before we decided to do something with it, or we may even use a unit. I mean, Brett could fill you in on what we did at Westport.
Well, normally when I develop, even during the '80s and '90s, I always have a model. If we were to get a little more aggressive, we could put a trailer on site for sales, which is uncommon with any developer. But we probably have some sort of model condition on the first floor retail if we have the building up in time, to market it. So that's how I would do it, personally. And I've done it many times before.
All right, so there won't be pre-construction sales. The building would be built, and then you would have a model. And
Well, the
then
problem is when you have pre-construction, you really can't go on a contract yet, because what you do, you take a reservation.
Okay.
It'll take about a year to get the condo docs together. So we'll probably begin construction, build, while the state of New Jersey issues, our final, on the condominium association and bylaws. So we'd have a little lead time to organize that.
So,
Our goal at this time, unless the economy gets crazy, is to try to get all our approvals in this calendar year and potentially start construction in the spring of in the spring of '23. And it's probably for us a 12 to 14 month project. Am I right?
14, 18.
14, 18.
Time to prepare my kids for the trauma of telling them that A-crop's not there anymore. Ooh. But absolutely, I think this is, one of the things that struck me is this gives us an opportunity. This would be the first entire block in town that's redeveloped under the Seaport redevelopment agreement. And it gives us a chance for the residents and the whole community to see what that's really going to be like. And I really appreciate that you showed us side by side, because it starts to give us an idea of what we're looking at.
Okay, thanks, guys. We'll have a resolution prepared by the next meeting.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brian. On workshop, we have a presentation by Councilwoman Kinney and our multimedia director, John Sabia.
See you guys. Till next time. Will do.
Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to take a minute to review a little bit more about our Nixle system. People are calling and trying to understand how to opt in, opt out, and get information and how to get your alerts. So we just wanted to, John Sabian and I did just a quick little tutorial of how to get in and change your settings and get alerts so everybody knows what's happening in town, okay? If you were already on our old code red system, your landline number should have been already moved over to the new Nixle system. But we're going to ask that everybody make sure that your number is in there, because people are saying that they're not getting alerts or they're getting too many alerts. And so today we're going to kind of teach you how to edit and get your information the way you want to get your information. So first, there's going to be 3 types of notifications that we're going to be able to send out to you all. The first is going to be alerts, which is what you're already getting on your landline. That's like the important stuff, like hurricanes and blizzards and any major weather events and power outages and anything like that. You're already getting that on your landline. So that's going to be the main notification that you're getting. You will also be able to get the option of 2 other types of notifications. The next is what we're calling advisory notifications, which is road closures, construction in town, like DPW, garbage, recycling, changes in the schedule, things like that. And then the last type of alert notification that we're going to send out is what we're calling community alerts. Or rather community notifications, which is fun things happening in town, right? So like movies on the beach and townwide yard sale, fireworks, the Belmar 5, seafood festival, things that are coming up that are fun, okay? So this is also, you're gonna be able to receive your newsletter via community alerts. By the way, the newsletter went out tonight, so you should have, if you've all signed up, gotten the newsletter in your inbox. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is learn how to create your account. All right, we got to go back to belmar.com. Can you do that? All right, so the first thing, if you want to edit your notifications and be able to get your notifications the way you want to get them, you're going to go to belmar.com, and then you're going to go to where it says alerts. Did you already go there? Okay. Just to show everybody on the website where it is, and then you're going to scroll down, right, and you're going to click to where it says sign up now. It's like a yellow button, orange button that says sign up now. All right, so when you get there, it's going to take you where you can create an account. And so this is where you're going to figure out how to receive your notifications, okay? So even if you were receiving code reds here, this is ideally where you're going to see if your number's already in this system and what numbers you want there. If you want to add a mobile phone or not, right? You have to enter your email just to sign up. That doesn't mean you can receive your alerts like that. You can go in and edit on the back end and say you don't want to get emails, you don't want to get text messages, okay? So there's a way to do that, and we're going to show you that now. So once you sign up and you get to that page, right, that's the sign up page right there, you're going to enter your information, and then you're going to create your account. See where it says I accept or whatever, right, that blue button right there, right, John? Yeah. All right? And now you've created your account. So now we're going to go to where you can customize your settings. So now you have to go to Nixle.com to do that. So you're going to click on Nixle.com. Gotcha. Okay. So at the top right, it's really small there, but it says resident login. See how small that is? That's where it is. So you have to go there and click in resident login. And then here, it's going to take you to where you can customize all your settings. So it should be different, John. It's going to go to that other page. Okay. So then the way you created your account initially is how you're going to log in again. And then it takes you to that little area where you're going to plug in your username and password. And then it's going to take you to your account. So here, your information should be your name, your phone number, your email. You can add a mobile number there. Can you make that bigger? Because on the right there where those little boxes are, it's going to say opt out. So you can not receive emails if you don't want to receive emails. You can say, I don't want to receive SMS notifications, which is text messages, so you can opt out there. So in order for you to figure out what you're getting and where, you kind of have to go to this page to be able to opt out. On the very, very bottom there, it's hard to see, it says phone notifications. He scrolled up a little bit, but it actually says what time of day you would like to receive your notifications. So if you don't want to receive notifications between a certain time of day, you can actually click on that and customize when you get your phone notifications, okay? So in order to do this, though, I know it's a little labor intensive, but you do have to go to the actual Nixle website and be able to customize your settings here. So that's it. You're all signed up. You're all customized. Now, if people have already gone, because there's a way to do it too, and texted to the 88877 or the 777-888-777, that was the way that we originally rolled this out. Text 07719 to 888-777. Now, you'll automatically be enrolled, but you won't be customized. So your settings won't be customized. So you're just going to start getting blasts, email blasts, text blasts. Maybe that's not what you want. So you're going to have to go back in and customize your settings to get it the way that you want to. So I apologize. We didn't know this initially, but now we know, and it's just a couple little clicks. You can rewatch this back anytime because this is going to be up on the Facebook page, right, John? It's on our website. And on the website. So all the information is going to be up there. You can click through it. You can also call John at any time if you have any questions. He would be happy to answer them for you. Okay, so if you've done that, you can also click or text Belmar News to 888-777. That's the way that you're going to get your newsletter. So you will also be able to get in your newsletter. Every time you get a text now, there is a little link for you to opt out. If you click on the link or you press, you can say stop, text stop to 888-777, and you'll stop getting text messages. Same with emails. You can unsubscribe to your emails. You could stop getting your emails. So that's a way to do it as well. Okay? Does anybody have any questions about this? Does that make sense? Yeah. Trina.
Okay, so I get emails, I get texts.
Yeah.
Okay, so having said that, I have to go back in and put all that information in the top section.
Yeah, where it says resident login.
Where it says sign up. Do I have to sign
Yes.
up again?
So if you've already signed up, you shouldn't have to.
So I don't know. I get everything now. So does that mean I'm signed up?
Probably not. You might have to go in there. If you go on, like sign in or log in order to get to this, you have to have a login. So if you never created a password, you will have to do that. All right, where it says resident login, if you get to that and you can't, and that's where it takes you to username and login, you're just going to have to underneath that say sign up, and then you'll sign up, and then it'll take you there. You'll check your phone numbers. You'll check if you want the notifications or not. It's pretty easy once you create an account. That's just the part you got to do. You just have to create an account. Yep, and that's where this is. Yep. Yes.
So basically, if you text in, you're gonna get things immediately, based upon what you text in, right? But if you want to organize yourself and customize, you have to go into the site and tell it exactly what you want. It takes about a couple seconds, but I guarantee you'll get exactly from text messages to emails, or not at all. You won't have to hear my voice all day, so you can pick what you like. Thank you so much.
And so that was the reason why we chose this system, because there is options to get notifications the way that you want them. You don't have to get numbers. You don't have to get calls to your landline if you don't want them. You don't have to get emails if you don't want them. You know, so it just is a little bit on the back end work, couple minutes. But if you follow this tutorial, you should be able to do it pretty quickly. All right? Anybody else have any questions about this new system? Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Anything else for workshop? All right, moving on. Petitions, anything, April?
I have not received any.
Okay. Proclamations. Councilmember Kraken, you want to handle Arbor Day?
Arbor Day 2022. Whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees, and whereas this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, and whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce life-giving oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable source, giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products, and whereas trees in our town increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community, and whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal, now therefore, by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Belmar, do hereby proclaim April 29th, 2022 as Arbor Day in the Borough of Belmar, and the Mayor and Council hereby urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands and to plant trees to gladden the heart and promote the well-being of this and future generations. Signed April 5th, 2022 by Mayor Mark Walsifer and the members of the Borough Council. And I'm really happy I was just able to do that without glasses.
Thank you. Councilwoman Kinney, would you handle the child abuse prevention?
Certainly, Mayor. April is Child Abuse Prevention Month, whereas we all have the responsibility as individuals, neighbors, community members, and citizens of the Borough of Belmar to help create healthy, nurturing, and safe experiences. And whereas healthy and safe childhoods help produce confident and successful adults. And whereas child abuse and neglect often occur when people find themselves in stressful situations without community resources and don't know how to cope. And whereas incidences of child abuse and neglect can be reduced by making sure all families have the support they need and deserve to raise their children in a healthy environment. And whereas court-appointed special advocates, CASA, is authorized by state statute and federal law to help the court and child welfare systems to make best interest decisions on behalf of our children removed from a home because of abuse or neglect. And whereas CASA volunteer advocates in Belmar help to ensure that abused and neglected children who are placed in foster care and other out-of-home placements are safe and receive the services they need to achieve well-being. And whereas CASA advocates reduce the number of moves between placements, help shorten the overall time a child remains in placement, and serve as a consistent person in the child's life until that child achieves permanency in a safe home with a loving family. Now, therefore, the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Belmar do hereby proclaim April 2022 as Child Abuse Prevention Month and urge all citizens to support the CASA network across New Jersey as it strengthens families and helps children learn, grow, and thrive.
Thank you. April approval of minutes, March 15th.
I have a motion to approve the minutes of the March 15th meeting.
Motion.
Second?
Okay. Councilman Brennan?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinney?
Yes.
Mayor Walsifer?
Yes.
Councilman McCracken?
Yes.
Councilman Carvelli?
Abstain.
Reports of council, Councilman Corvelli.
It's me, thank you, Mayor. Let's see, Planning Board, April meeting is canceled, next meeting is 5/16. The Harbor Commission, their next meeting is the 12th, next Tuesday, I suppose. The Finance Committee, the March meeting was canceled. I think we're just waiting on consultant report that will be analyzing the water and sewer systems. And that will probably be the next big thing that comes up in that committee. Only other thing I have is that I was looking at the calendar of events coming up, and I see that there's a lot of things going on in town. Glad to see that we're finally getting back to a sense of normalcy and away from COVID restrictions, and looking forward to a nice spring. So that's my report. Thank you.
Council President McCracken.
Thank you, Mayor. As you, obviously everybody heard, I just read the proclamation for Arbor Day. That proclamation was presented to us by our volunteer Shade Tree Commission, who is very active this month with Arbor Day, not only preparing the proclamation for us to read this evening, but also hosting several other events, including a seedling giveaway on April 23rd in the morning. That will be at the corner of 10th and Main, there by Taylor Hardware. And on April 29th, there will be an educational event for fourth graders of both St. Rose and Belmar Elementary, in conjunction with our dedicated volunteers at the Belmar Library. That's an event that's held every year, and the Shade Tree Commission is hosting that. So April's an exciting month for exciting and busy month for the Shade Tree Commission. As far as the Belmar Housing Authority is concerned, they have signed a contract with a landscaper. They were there working today, doing a spring cleanup and beautifying that property. So excited to see that work is underway.
Councilman Brown.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I really don't have anything to report. Next week is my big meeting week, Harbor Commission, Tourism, Environmental Commission. I'll have a lot to say at the next council meeting. Thank you.
Councilwoman Kinney.
Thank you, Mayor. I actually met with everybody, so I have some stuff to report. I know it's a lot of me tonight. I'm sorry. Okay, so ADA met on March 17th. And we finally got together and we spoke with, I got to meet all the members of the committee, including information about the Circle of Friends. Circle of Friends does have a Facebook page. It's Circle of Friends HDAS. You need to, if you want to be involved in the Circle of Friends, request to be part of their Facebook page. Once you make a request, they will accept you in. The committee wanted me to, as everyone knows, be the liaison between the ADA. So if you know of anybody who needs assistance or is disabled or needs information in town, they can contact me at jkinney@belmar.com, and I can certainly take you or lead you to the right person who might know the answers if I do not. There was, several years ago, a sidewalk paving initiative to try to help with some of our sidewalks. I was speaking with the borough administrator about that. That's something that the ADA would like to try to resurrect, if possible, to help with some of our failing sidewalks around town. That is something that's still in the works, so I don't have much information on that, but I should know something about potentially bringing that initiative back. The Circle of Friends did want me to mention that there is a spring formal on 4/29. I don't know any other information otherwise that the date was changed from April 22nd to the 29th. Again, if you want more information about that, email me at jkinney@belmar.com, and I can get you the right phone number to call for more information. Also, they are working, the ADA is working on updating their resource guide. They plan to have hard copies available at the entrances of the library and the borough building. And the next ADA meeting is April 28th. Now on to recreation. We had a recreation meeting last month. They wanted everybody to know that there is yoga back in the recreation gym. Summer camp registration was a great turnout. They had so far 69 children have signed up for Belmar Summer Camp. They are looking for camp counselors. So if you know of any young adults that are looking for work, please, you can apply on the website. Sign-ups for Belmar Junior Guards, summer tennis, fall soccer, and the kids running club starts May 1st. You can go to the website and check out recreation to find out more information about sign-ups. The same is true for boys and girls summer basketball league. The sign-ups start for, that's going to be grades 2 to 8 going on now, actually. You can sign up now for summer basketball, rec basketball for the summer league, and they need volunteer coaches. So if anybody knows anybody who wants to coach rec basketball this summer, they need help with coaches. They had a successful Belmar Youth Club. That is finished now for the season, and Belmar Rec wants to thank all the businesses who have sponsored teams. If you would like to sponsor a team and you are a business, it's a good idea. It's only $100 to sponsor a team in town. So if you have a business, I know I'm going to take advantage of it, or an organization, it's a good way to support Belmar Recreation by sponsoring a team. You can reach out to Barry at Recreation if you want more information. And they need coaches. So if you know of anybody who wants to coach, they need coaches. There's a free jazz concert at the Belmar Auditorium Wednesday, April 20th from 12 to 1. And Calvary Baptist Church is doing St. Peter's Brass Quintet. That's a free concert for world peace, April 23rd, also at noon. And a little bit of information around the schools. Belmar Elementary School, they declared April Autism Awareness Month. On Friday, that kids went outside and had speakers and met police and got to see a service dog. The science kids took part in a forensics analysis. They did DNA analysis, pretty cool for grammar school kids. The class trips are back on, which is great. The 8th graders are going to Woodlock, Pennsylvania for a resort. And as Councilman McCracken indicated, the 4th graders are doing an Arbor Day celebration with the St. Rose Grammar School kids on Arbor Day. St. Rose Grammar School, 4th graders did their annual Rainforest Cafe, which is learning all about the rainforest. 6th graders did their Egyptian Museum, learning all about Egypt. And they had a very successful pocketbook bingo, and all their school trips are back on as well, which is exciting. And then the high school, they have an open house tomorrow night, 6 to 8, if anybody's interested in St. Rose High School. And their spring musical is called The Seussical. I guess it was Dr. Seuss. That's April 30th. And then the St. Rose High School Pipe Band is doing a fundraiser. They're going to the World Bagpipe Championships. And their fundraiser dinner is April 9th. That's all I have. I know, sorry, it's a lot of it.
Just one thing to add for recreation. I had an opportunity this past weekend to swing by the Easter egg hunt on the beach that was sponsored by the Recreation Department, and I'd just like to thank Barry Trogu and his team for putting that together. It looked like the kids had a great time.
Thank you. I want to echo what Councilman President McCracken said. I stopped by the Easter egg hunt. It was really well attended. I want to thank Barry Trugu and all the volunteers that he had. And a special thanks to John Walsh for being the Easter Bunny. Did a great job. The kids really loved him. So did a great job. And everybody that was involved, it was really nice to see everybody out doing the Easter egg hunt on the beach. And that's all I have. So, all right, we'll move on to public session on any of the resolution items.
Anyone from the public would like to comment on a resolution listed on the consent agenda, please step forward, state your name and address.
Yes, Jerry.
Gerald Buccafusco, 409 Fifth Avenue, Belmar. I just have a question on resolution 2022-73. The first 6 paid parking areas have typically been during the summer season. So my question is this ordinance saying that these areas are going to be year-round paid parking areas? And if not, when will the paid parking in those areas go into effect?
I think the ones that are in the resolution are from May 1st to September 30th. Is that correct, April?
Yes.
And is that by resolution, those dates?
I think that's set by ordinance, right? The resolution is just to change the amount.
Right, to change the amount and the times, but
So there is no ordinance or resolution that sets the starting and ending dates for this, am I correct?
It should be in the ordinance, right?
There should be, I apologize, Mr. Mayor, there should be a borough ordinance. I don't have the borough code book in front of me, but I would. Sure. Let's see. So in what the ordinance does, or I should say the Borough Code section 19-40.1 indicates, is that the parking fees, times, and limitations shall be set by resolution of the governing body. So it would be set by a resolution of this governing body. Now, if you wanted to amend the resolution on its feet right now to indicate that these specific parking requirements would only apply from May 1st until whatever certain time, you certainly are within your rights to do that.
But wouldn't that be under the resolution that we already passed? This is just to change that's already in effect, the resolution that's already in effect?
Correct. If there's a resolution already in effect,
This
that
just changed it from $1 to $2 along the boardwalk.
then yes, that's correct. The prior resolution setting forth the dates and times would be controlling. This ordinance, resolution strictly affects the cost.
Just the cost, right? Yeah, so it's already in effect with with the prior resolution.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, so this just affects the cost.
So I'll be able to Oprah that prior resolution and find out that the times are set
Yes.
for that?
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's
Even though I
operable.
thought this resolution said, that the council, mayor and council wishes to adopt one resolution that clearly outlines all of the paid parking areas. I just thought it would be nice to know, what the areas are, the times, the rate, and when they go into effect, all in the same shot.
Yeah,
Because when you do research, if I was a member of the public and I wanted to find out what the resolution was for the time, how am I going to find that? Unless I do an Oprah request, because it's not by ordinance. I'm just saying, I think it would be more transparent for that either to be part of an ordinance or part of this resolution. Not to mention the fact that they should be signage telling people when the parking spaces are in effect. I mean, I was up at the boardwalk on St. Patrick's Parade Day, and somebody asked me, do we have to pay for parking? Because there's no signage that says, it doesn't start until whatever, May 20th, May 12th. or whatever. So I just think it's, you know, it's a little hard to find out when the starting dates and ending dates are, and it might be better putting it into one whole resolution so we can see it all in one spot.
I see your
You
point.
know, you
Thank
see my point?
I do see your point. Thank you.
Okay. The other point I'd like to make is Dempsey Park event parking. I don't see any definition of an event. Is that a borough event? Is that a school event? Is that a private event? I mean, it seems kind of vague to me. And it's a $10 flat fee. Does that mean somebody's going to be sitting there like in a booth collecting a $10 flat fee?
No, you have to go on the app.
Oh, and it's going to just, so that.
It's just like we always had. There was always event parking down there. I think it's set by resolution that it's only Tuesday nights right now, right?
Right.
So, but, I mean, this is the same as like if we're changing marina rates or anything like that. I mean,
No,
there's-
what it was is, since we instituted Park Mobile, we've done several resolutions over the years adding parking areas. And then at the last council meeting, we did a resolution changing the fees. So there was a lot of questions, so we thought it would just be helpful if we relisted all the parking areas in one resolution. That way, there was no confusion that everything is now this dollar amount.
But this only tells us how much, not, the dates are on a separate resolution.
Right, and it's also on the website too, in the parking section.
But we don't know what events this applies to. Is there a list of events? I mean, if it's in Park Mobile, then I'm sure it has to be programmed into Park Mobile as to what events. Is there a table or something in the database?
right now, it's only Tuesday night, I think 8 at night to 2 in the morning.
Right.
The event is Beat the Clock.
Beat the clock.
Beat the clock for Bar A, yeah.
And that's an event, or is that just, that's a separate parking regulation? Because this says 4 PM to 2 AM.
Right,
And
that's
the
beautiful.
Tuesday night is what, 8 PM to?
Beat the Clock.
It just seems unclear to me.
I see-
You know, you get my point?
I see your point. The resolution indicates that it's a $10 flat fee from 4 PM to 2 AM for event parking. If an individual comes in, or if it's, as the mayor indicated, for Tuesday nights when there's events, there's a $10 flat fee. And then if someone came in to run an event through at Dempsey Park, I'm certain they would probably have to require a permit or something along those lines, and at which point this $10 flat fee would similarly apply. So it's essentially just providing the public with notice that in the event that there is an event at Dempsey Park, the $10 flat fee would be incurred for 4 PM to 2 AM.
And the Tuesday night event is what? What is the Tuesday night?
Beat the
event?
clock at
It's what?
Bar A. It's Beat the clock.
At Bar A,
Yes.
okay.
Oh, yes.
And that's from 4 PM to 2 AM?
It starts early. You got to beat the clock.
Beat the clock. All right, so as far as we know, that's the only event that we're paying, that you have to pay for right now.
I envision it as, these are events that are gonna happen upon
Mm-hmm.
it. That's exactly how I interpret it.
I do know they used to have basketball tournaments there in the summertime. Maybe they're considering that an event as well. So I
Well,
don't
that's
know
what
if they
I mean.
were
I mean,
only on
from the
Tuesdays.
public's point of view, if I'm going to a basketball game there, you know, and I park my car in Dempsey Park, how do I know if it's an event? Do I have to go on Park Mobile and see if they're going to charge me, or?
Well, I think it would
The
be on the
signs are
website.
portable, correct, Bill? The signs go up, and then they come down.
What
They go up
signs?
for the one night,
What signs are those?
the Park Mobile signs.
Okay, so there'll be a Park Mobile sign for every event, and it'll go up, and then after the event is over, the signs come down?
Yeah, they're portable signs.
Cones.
Okay, and are those all public events? Are those all like town events, I would assume? I mean, it's not like, okay. Okay. I'll just mark that as to be determined. Thank you.
One thing I think we should do with this new Nixle system that we, Councilwoman Kenny worked so hard on in the Office of Emergency Management is when these rates go into effect, send out a message through that. So just to remind everybody, I think that would be a good idea.
Great idea, Councilman.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's-
Yeah, did that
Yeah.
get corrected? Did I miss the correction? Is that right?
Yeah, you missed, I was sent out earlier.
Okay, I
Yes.
missed it then. All right, yeah.
They're all
that's supposed to
7
be
a.m.
7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Great. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? All right, April?
I have a motion to close the public session.
Motion.
A second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Can I have a motion to approve the resolutions as listed on the consent agenda?
Motion?
Second.
Okay, Councilman Brennan?
Yes?
Councilwoman Kinney?
Yes.
Mayor Walsifer?
Yes.
Councilman McCracken?
Yes.
Councilman Carvelli?
Yes.
Okay, next we have ordinance 2022-7. This is second reading and public hearing on an ordinance amending Chapter 18 for beach badge fees. This is open for public comment. If anyone would like to speak on the ordinance, please step forward, state your name and address.
Hi, Maria Rondinaro, 1246 Pine Tree Way. I just had a few questions. I'm understanding this ordinance is increasing the fees so that if you're 14 years old or 15 years old, you have a regular daily badge, adult badge, including the season badge. So that's the increase for that part. And then for regular, for everyone, the daily badge is increased $1. Is that correct? Okay, so we have the 14-year-olds, the 15-year-olds, and then the $1. I did see the seasoned, senior and disabled badges. My question was, what is the reasoning behind the decision to separate disabled veterans from all veterans in this? I know we dealt with that in 2019, and I'm wondering why it came up again.
Yeah, that's
I
wrong.
thought all veterans, right?
Yeah, it's all veterans. It
All
should say
veterans.
this. You're absolutely
When
right.
I looked at the ordinance, it said for either disabled veterans or active military. Can we
I
take a
thought that
look
was
at
the
that?
old one. We
Yeah, the
added
state,
all.
state statute is all veterans.
All veterans, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you talking about disabled individuals?
No,
No.
Subsection E.
E, right? Yeah.
Yeah, all
That's-
disabled veterans with proper identification.
Right, with proper identification, all disabled veterans.
And
What
active
about all
milit-
veterans? It should
and
be
active
all-
military.
And active,
Yeah.
right,
Active military is
veterans,
fine.
so active military, they're
And their
active.
dependents.
What about the veterans?
If it's a state law requirement, there would be no charge as well. There's no distinction or not.
I believe, yeah,
But there's a
that's what the state law.
distinction right now written down. What you're reading says all disabled veterans and active military, meaning that there
That's a
isn't.
mistake.
Just
Yeah, why do you have
delete the-
disabled?
just
in there?
delete
Why
the
don't you just put
disabled.
All veterans.
We can certainly.
I'm just wondering.
We could certainly amend it and create another ordinance just specifically to add the additional language, but at the end of the day, state law would authorize the free admittance for all veterans, so there's no harm, no foul.
Right.
I know a few years ago, I thought we
Yeah.
It
took
was
that
a
out
big
of the
issue.
resolution.
Yeah.
In 2019, it was a big issue.
I thought we took it
so I'm
all out,
surprised.
because I know all veterans get free breach access.
I know that each borough has
That's what we want,
the
anyway.
option of deciding that.
Right. You
But
can-
you're saying that you have decided to allow all veterans. I
Yes.
would like you to change that in the wording, please, because these people have defended our country
Can
and
we-
continue to. Thank
Can we
you.
just amend that, strike that one word?
Certainly, we can strike
Strike disabled.
Take out disabled?
strike disabled, absolutely.
Just do that
Absolutely.
tonight?
All
Absolutely.
veterans, because that's
Yeah,
what
it's
we
all
do.
veterans. That's what the state statute is.
Yeah,
The
and
other
we've
thing
done,
is
we've been doing that.
Active
so,
military also, active military and dependents is,
Yeah,
that's in there, right?
That's in there.
Okay,
Yep.
good.
yeah.
So we just.
Yeah, and
Get rid
the
of the
Beach
disabled.
Badge website is set up to say all veterans.
Good. Oh, that's good. All right, so,
Yeah.
can I make a motion to amend the ordinance?
Sure.
I'll make a motion to amend the ordinance, strike the word disabled from that section.
Okay, do we have a
Second.
second? Mayor? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. Were there any other public comments? Can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion.
Second.
There you go.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then can I have a motion to adopt ordinance 2022-7? Motion.
Second.
Councilman Brennan?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinney?
Yes.
Mayor Walsifer?
Yes.
Councilman McCracken?
Yes.
Councilman Carvelli?
Yes.
Next is second reading and public hearing on ordinance 2022-8. This is an ordinance amending Chapter 34, Special Improvement District. If anyone would like to speak on this ordinance, please step forward, state your name and address.
All right, April. Seeing none?
And I have a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
And a motion to adopt ordinance 2022-8.
Second.
Councilman Brennan?
Yes.
Councilman McKinney?
Yes.
Mayor Walsifer?
Yes.
Councilman McCracken?
Yes.
Councilman Carvelli?
Yes.
And then last one is ordinance 2209. This is an ordinance amending Chapter 35, which is our flood prevention ordinance. If anyone would like to comment on this ordinance, please step forward, state your name and address.
Good evening, Katrina Klapsis, B Street. Is this a mandatory, like, update over a period of time? Like,
Yes.
we have to do it, what is the time period that it has to be? Does anybody know? Just wondering, because I was reading it and
Yeah, we just did it recently. I don't know that if there is a time frame. DEP puts out notices.
Oh, they tell us when we have to
Right.
do it. I got it, okay. And this is so that the borough, it's about flood insurance, correct, and changing the maps. And is this for the borough, or is this also for residents to be able to purchase flood insurance? So it keeps both the borough and the residents within the framework or be able, okay,
Both.
thank you.
Both,
Gotcha,
yes.
thanks.
Okay, can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion.
All in favor? And can I have a motion to adopt ordinance 2022-9?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Councilman Brennan?
Yes.
Councilwoman McKinney?
Yes.
Mayor Walsifer? Councilman McCracken?
Yes.
Councilman Carvelli?
Yes.
Good evening, everybody. Linda Sharkus, 4th Avenue. We're approaching the start of our tourist season. We're less than 60 days away. And to date, I'm not aware of any meetings regarding community policing. It would really be helpful to try to get that moving before the influx of the group rentals. So we have a chance to talk to the residents that are in our block and try to establish all the procedures with those who are already here before the others come in.
We are going to start scheduling meetings. I know Kyle is scheduling her group, right, Kyle? You have on the West Zone, I think she's scheduling the first one, so Thursday, yeah.
Did I miss a meeting? Because
No, that's the first
Okay.
one, and they're going to be going through all the groups between now and May 15th, before the summer season starts. We've made some changes to community policing, so we want to bring everybody up to speed on what the changes are.
Okay, thank you. I look forward to seeing those changes.
Okay. Anyone else? Yes, Mark.
Mark Pfeiffer, 319 Fifth Avenue. On the Belmar alerts, is there a way that we can communicate to residents who, don't come to the town hall and see the paper and don't get the CoStar about signing up for the alerts? Or is that something maybe we should have the block captains get involved in handing out in our respective areas? So, and I bring that up because I was, away during that big winter snowstorm. And I have outdoor cameras so I can check and make sure the guy's cleaning my sidewalk. But what I also noticed were 3 cars on my block, and that's C Street between 5th and 6th Avenue, which is not a very wide street. And, that makes it tough for the snowplow people. But how are they going to, I'm sure they're not getting the notices, because I got the notice. I was in Mexico, and I got the notice. So is there a way we're going to do something like that?
So that's one of the things we're working towards. John Sabia and I are trying to get more people to sign up. You're right. As of the last time we looked, I think there was only like a couple hundred people that were signed up for alerts. So we're trying to get people to go towards the website more. It would be great if there was some sort of maybe like notice about it
Is it on
somehow, or
the board out on 35?
I'm
You do?
Oh,
Okay.
Oh, that's a good
Yeah.
idea.
So we do need to blast it out more for people to be able to sign up to get the alerts, 100%. I agree with you. So we're trying to figure out ways to get it blasted out to people. I don't know if it's a notice in the CoStar or something like you said, but we need to talk about that for sure. Yeah,
All right,
I
good.
agree.
Thank you.
Thank you for bringing that up, though, Mr. Pfeiffer.
Anyone else? Yes, Mr. Kramer.
Gene Kramer, Fourth Avenue. By the way, I appreciate the proclamation on the Arbor Day. And I just want to express my appreciation for the Shade Tree Commission. I know they've been working and having meetings at least every month. I thought I read either something in the newspaper or one of these emails that Shade Tree Commission was sponsoring the purchase of trees to be planted in town. Does anybody have any information on that? Now that trees are the subject, one subject in tonight's meeting, that should be mentioned. Over.
Yeah, Mr. Kramer, you're talking about the beautiful Belmar tree program. I may have missed that when I gave my report regarding the Shade Tree Commission, but that program is going on right now, and there's information available for that on our website. If you know anybody who's interested in that, who doesn't have access to the website, let me know, and I'll personally hand deliver it to them. It's called the Beautiful Belmar Tree Program. And that is being done through Shade Tree. You can get a discount on the purchase of trees.
Yeah, that might be something with this Belmar alert system. Quite truthfully, I don't remember where I picked up on that. You know, I get the patch and I get different newsletters, and I did pick up on it, and not that I want to plant any more trees on my property. But I think that word perhaps should get out a little bit better to the people in town. I do have neighbors that have asked about trees, and I think that information perhaps could be disseminated a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, the Nixle's a great idea. As far as I know, it has not gone out on Nixle, but I could be wrong. I believe Kathy covered it in Tap Into, and I believe there was also an article in the CoStar, but like you know, there's so much going on in Belmar. We get a lot of press. I can't remember exactly where I see everything, but I do like the Nixle idea. Is that something we can get out?
As in just to not be inundating people with too much information, right? So that's part of why we did the whole, how you could customize your alerts and via email. We don't want to send out too much information, but I do agree maybe people should know something about that. That might want to go out in like an email or a text for people to be aware of.
Yeah, okay, I can't get enough information.
Yeah.
I'm retired. I did want to also mention, by the way, and I do appreciate when we get alerts like we did this week from the Public Works Department that they're going to be,
water, that's an important alert.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's too much information. Let me just word it that way. But it also reminded me of something that I had a question, actually for I think it came up last year when we got involved in flushing the pipes in town, because I guess we're going to switch over this week or soon over to the Belmar wells. We'll be using our own well water instead of buying water from a purveyor. Does anybody know whether when we start using our own well water, do we put fluoride in it? That's actually a question for my dentist. But I've taken a look at the water report, and that lists all the pollutants and everything, but I guess I would like to know whether whether the town adds fluoride to the water.
Here?
So we did go on our wells as of April 1st, and the well water is treated with chemicals. I don't know off the top of my head which ones they are, but you know, if you need to know, I can get you that information.
Yeah, I'd like to know specifically, I have I know every year you put out a water quality report, and I review that, but I didn't pick up in any of that fluoride, and especially for people, with young young children. Fluoride is probably one of the fluoridation of water is probably one of the best precautions, actions that you can take to prevent cavities. I just find it kind of like remarkable. Some towns in this state, my sister lives in Mountainside, and they fluoridate their water. Her kids have never had a single cavity. I'm just curious as to whether we fluoridate the water. That's all.
If you want to leave me your information tomorrow, I will get the exact products that we use, and I can let you know.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
That's it.
In the back? You have a question?
Thanks. Jane Salmon, 1613 Highway 71. So I understand that a meeting with a private entity took place on Friday regarding the possibility of taking over the skate park. I was wondering if you can elaborate on the meeting outcome and who this entity is and what are their plans?
Didn't happen on Friday, but there was a meeting. You know, we're looking at all options. They just came in with what they wanted to propose, and we're not sure if we're going in that direction or not.
Okay.
So, but, you know, anybody that's coming in about the skate park, we're looking at all the options.
Okay. So is it a company? Is it a person?
Well, yeah, it was a company that came in that wanted to be like work with us, but, you know.
Well, in the event of that, if that were to take place and you were to go forward, would that end up privatizing the skate park and to the point where there would be a fee to enter the skate park?
Well, I mean, you know, people come in and if they want to talk to us about the skate park, we'll listen. But we're going to look at what's best for Belmar.
Yeah, I understand that. I just, you know, I mean, opening it is top priority, but for myself and my group. But we do see, you know, if there's a fee involved to, you know, for patrons in the future, it could be an obstacle for some families.
Well, that's way premature
yeah.
when this meeting
but
took
I just
place.
wanted to put that out there. That,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
if you put that obstacle in, then you might
When
not
people
get
call
the
us,
same
we'll talk to them
participation.
and see what they have in
Okay.
mind. Yeah.
I'm all for listening to anybody that's willing to, you know, put forth some ideas. But, so, that being said, I just wanted to make a statement with regard to teen activities in the town. The skate park does provide activities for teens, you know, that looking for a creative outlet year-round. You know, during the summer months, of course, there's the beach. But, you know, the rest of the year, there's really not a whole lot for an outlet for teens to be active and creative. And second point, my group has researched the cost to just repair the current park in the state that it's in at approximately $10,000, give or take. We think it'll be a good temporary fix until a new park is built, rather than having to go without completely while funds are raised or funding is determined.
That's nice if it's in your backyard, but we have to deal with our insurance companies. And then when the insurance companies tell us that it's good enough, then it would be.
Also, based on our research, we've discovered that the central GIF will cover both steel modular equipment and concrete. because they currently do. There's other towns within the central JIF that are built the same way as Belmar is. Edison Skate Park is a prime example of that. You can see photos of it online. So I'm just saying, like, not sure that the insurance company is telling you absolutely have to go concrete, because they do cover skate parks that are made just like Belmar.
They're not telling us exactly to go concrete, but they're giving us a list of companies that we could use
Right.
to build the correct skate park.
Okay. Well, you can go either way. You don't have to go concrete, is what I'm saying. So the fact that the skate park was closed for safety concerns, because repairs needed to be made, and then it's just been shut down and no repairs were made. Now we're sitting here in limbo waiting for something to be done. And I got the impression, I was led to believe that you had to go concrete or nothing.
Well, the main issue is we have to listen to what the insurance company is doing, because the insurance company is the one who would ultimately be responsible for covering any potential lawsuit. So as of right,
So why isn't a $10,000 repair feasible?
because as of right now, they've identified it as a dangerous condition of public property. Because it's been identified as a dangerous condition of public property, they've
Okay.
declined on producing any coverage until it's being repaired. So what would happen under 59-4-2, the borough has already been established with actual notice, and any potential injury that would result for failing to repair it in accordance with the instructions given by the
Okay.
insurance carrier would thereafter
So why aren't we seeking, a contractor that could repair it in the, up to code?
because of cost. So what the borough has, they have, well, that's the,
All right, the address that you gave, is that a Belmar address?
It's a 07719.
Are you a
area.
Belmar resident?
I mean, zip code.
Who do you pay your taxes to?
I pay my taxes to Wall Township, but
Okay.
I live
Have you
on
approached the Wall
cusp of
Township
Belmar,
Committee
and
with these
My
questions?
son uses the Belmar skate park.
Have you approached the Wall Township Committee with the skateboard park?
They don't have a skate park.
Okay, right now, neither do we. Have you,
But you
I'm
could.
asking a question. Have you approached the Wall Township Committee
No, I haven't,
about a
but I
skateboard
don't
park?
live within walking distance of the Wall
But
Municipal
that's not,
Building.
I mean,
live
you're
within walking
saying,
distance of this skate park.
you're saying, well, $10,000, are we, and we is not you, right? That's our $10,000. That's Belmar's
Okay.
$10,000.
My group is willing to help raise that
No, I-
money, but we need some written commitment that any money that we raise would be used explicitly for repairing the skate park.
Mhm.
If I can get that commitment in writing, we will do that.
Yeah.
well, Mr. Councilman.
Yeah, I just wanted to
Yeah.
get clarification on that one point.
What I'm going to just, and I'm sorry, Councilwoman, I just wanted to add that because the insurance company is going to decline coverage in the event that any injury does occur because we failed to cure and repair it in accordance with their standards, the Belmar taxpayers would be the ones that are responsible for picking up the coin. Now, these types of lawsuits aren't cheap. If they, God forbid, it's a herniated disc, you're looking anywhere between $60,000 to $100,000. If it's paralysis, now we're looking upwards of $1 million. There is significant liability that the borough would face if you don't listen to your insurance company and proceed in how they want you to. And I apologize, Councilwoman, for cutting you off.
That's my question.
Okay.
My point being is, you're not just gonna get, somebody to come in with a hammer and nails and throw together some repairs. You would hire a legitimate company that would make those repairs. We could contract the same company that built the ramps in the first place, American Ramp Company. They could come in and make those repairs, and it would be up to code.
I understand your point.
And it would be a lot less than $300,000 for a completely brand-new concrete skate park.
I understand your point, but at the end of the day, I still have to advise the Borough Council to adhere to what the insurance company is instructing. That way that we are covered in the
So are
event
they
that there is a lawsuit.
suggesting, or are they saying you have to do that?
I personally am not involved in the negotiations and in the correspondence
So
with
I'm
the
getting
insurance
two different
carrier.
stories here. I'm getting a story that they're making strong suggestions that you go concrete, or they're saying you have to go concrete. So which is it?
I don't know where you got the concrete from.
Concrete is,
I mean, they want us to use one of their professional builders.
and that's Spone Ranch.
And that's the one.
all they do is concrete.
And
So that's not giving you much of an option.
Well, we have to listen to our insurance company to say what is the most safest out there and what are they going to cover. I mean, we're talking about a municipality. We're talking about a municipality.
It's not really a safe space to begin with.
We're talking about a
There's an element of
municipality,
getting hurt regardless.
and there's a lot of tax dollars involved. So we're looking at all the options. That's all I can tell you.
All right. I guess I made
It's
my
not that
point.
we've put it on the back burner. We're talking to people. We're looking at different things. We're trying to figure out where the money would come from. So it's a lot involved.
Okay,
I
I just want
I
to
have a
reiterate
question.
my point. They do cover steel modular ramps like we have at the Edison Skate Park, which is within the central JIF.
I don't know anything about Edison,
Okay.
but I'm talking
But they
about,
are
we are
covered.
talking about Belmar and what we have to deal with.
Right, but I'm saying that if JIF is telling you they can't cover our skate park, that's a load of baloney because they currently cover the Edison.
So we
skate
shouldn't
park.
listen to them.
Okay.
It's a load of baloney. We don't have to listen to them. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Not saying you don't
Okay.
have to listen to them, but if they're saying they won't cover modular, that is a load of
Okay.
baloney, because they do. All right.
I just
My
have
other
a question.
point is,
Can I ask you a
I'm
question?
aware of plans, future plans for the municipal building to get moved to Dempsey Park. There is future plans to move that.
There is?
There was a redevelopment project where Klein's currently is that would envelop part of the where the municipal building currently stands. And the plans, it's on the internet, says that they were originally going to move the municipal building possibly to Dempsey Park.
Does anybody know about that?
One of the reasons that plan didn't come to fruition is because we can't move the municipal building to Dempsey Park.
Okay,
Dempsey Park is a brown field.
correct.
And the environmental regulations alone make moving any kind of building
Okay.
onto there. So it's not going to happen.
that's not going to happen.
No, it's not going to
Okay.
happen.
I wanted to clarify that, because, I've heard through the grapevine that it was still a possibility. So I wanted to clarify that that wasn't going to happen. All right. That's pretty much what I wanted to say.
Question, please.
Yeah.
So I know you just said that skate parks inherently aren't safe and people are going to get hurt. We had a presentation from someone I think came up from Baltimore or something a while ago, who was kind of made the point about how safe skate parks are. You seem to know a lot about this. So for municipalities that have safe skate parks, and you saying that they're inherently not safe and that people are going to get hurt, what do those municipalities do to protect their residents from lawsuits
They
and
have-
insurance claims and stuff like that?
Put us, have signage to say that it's an at-risk facility. And you are responsible for, wearing a helmet and all those things. I mean,
Anybody
Yeah.
can see
If
that.
we have that sign up, is the borough protected from any lawsuits because of that signage?
No. You could put it up there, but at the end of the day, somebody somewhere is going to say that the borough didn't do enough. The borough has knowledge that it's a dangerous condition. The borough has knowledge that from the insurance carrier that has outlived its useful purpose. The borough has to comply with what its insurance carrier is recommending. So,
I mean, they have, for an example, Tom's River Skate Park, they don't enforce helmet laws, or helmet rules. They encourage it, and their sign says it's an at-risk facility. When a police officer comes by, he's giving out tickets for ice cream to the kids that are wearing helmets. That is all. He's not harassing the kids that aren't.
How many skateboard parks are in the state?
I
mean, is it
no.
a dozen? Is it
Oh.
several dozen?
There's a couple dozen, I would say, throughout the state. Sorry, I'm stepping farther away.
And how, like, since you know, how old are they? Are most of them,
They
are
vary
most of
in
them
age.
new?
I mean, there's
Like, what
ones
kind
that
of
are
upkeep
older
do
than
they-
Belmar is.
Yeah, and
that
what
have
kind
been
of
around.
upkeep do they have? I'd be curious, like, what's the budget? Like, how much do they have to put into these things?
I don't know their individual
How mu-
budgets.
How much, how many times do they get sued? How much does the insurance company pay out? What's the premiums?
Well-
It sounds just like an expensive proposition to have a skateboard park.
Not necessarily. I mean, you're giving kids a place to hang out. You're giving them something to do that's, not everybody's into soccer or baseball. I mean, my son is one of those kids. It's a creative outlet for him, and he gets to stay active and hang out with his friends. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. You seem like you're pretty averse to skate parks in general, so I'll just leave it at that.
To getting sued and to people getting hurt, okay?
Well-
So safety, financial
There's-
aspect of that.
You can host workshops, you can have outreach events. I mean, there's things you can do than just build it and leave it be. You can educate the public. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you, but.
And I think it's a work in progress. So, we're taking meetings, they're talking to people. I think everybody up here would agree that we are for a skate park. We're not against the skate park, so don't think for any reason. I have children that use the skate park too. So, you have to understand, it's just a process. It's a process.
John.
She's asking for it. My queen.
Thank you. Cara Zitello, 14th Avenue, Belmar. First, this is delayed. I want to thank Mayor and Council for the use of the Taylor Pavilion in October for our Belmar Cares Breast Cancer Support Group. We had a concert there. We did very well. It was just a goodwill offering at the door. And so I just want to say thank you for letting us use that. And at the same breath, is the Taylor Pavilion going to be finished for our May 9th concert?
They're working on it.
Because
They're aggressively working
we're not
on
doing
it.
any advertising because I want to make sure I get the word, even if it's 5 days before,
Bill,
before I
how
start
they
to
making out
advertise.
there?
What do we got?
They are moving along, but unfortunately, they don't have a set finish date.
Right.
The large kitchen is just about finished, and they're working on the banquet room right now, but they're still a
Well,
little
the only
ways
thing
away.
we need is the banquet room, electric, and hopefully the bathrooms would be up and working. That's it. We don't need the kitchen. We don't need anything else. All we need is the banquet room, electric.
Well, unfortunately,
Lights.
they're not going to let anyone in until the building is finished.
Right.
And, at this point, there's still a large amount of work that needs to be done in the banquet hall.
When I was up there about a week ago, the floor wasn't even finished yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, things happen, you gotta fix what you have to fix. Roads on L Street between 16th and 35, is there any possibility of getting that paved? It's like going over a roller coaster when you're driving down that road.
Our engineer had just left, but he has come up with a map of what roads are to be paved next. So we have a whole schedule now that he put together for us, so we'll see where it is on the schedule. I don't have it in front of me, but Ed Kirschenbaum probably could tell you a little bit better of
And potholes that are on the east side of the railroad tracks between 12th and 13th that have been filled multiple times, but then they've been plowed back up with snow. Is there any way we can at least get them filled in?
Yes, weather permitting, next week we are going to start with potholes
Okay.
and also line painting.
Okay, all right. And the potholes between 71 and K Street on 13th is a couple real big ones right in the middle.
We have a pretty long list. of,
Okay, now when you said,
potholes
and
all
also,
through town.
you said also lining, which means like lining like.
Parking spaces.
Is there any way, like on our street, the last time that our road was lined for parking spots, the line is right next to the driveways. So you can't get in and out of driveways. It's like, why are they like right at the driveway line? Can't they be back a little bit more? It doesn't make any sense. It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever that we're asking neighbors, can you move back? Can you move over here? We can't get in, we can't get out. And people, it's just crazy. You just can't even get in and out your own driveways.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have an answer for that right now, but I could.
Well, if you're going to reline parking spots, can you consider, if you were pulling into a driveway and there's a car parked here and a car parked here, which car are you going to hit?
Yes,
So that's something that needs some attention. McCleary Park. The boardwalk over there is kind of funky looking, it's all ripply and stuff. Is there any possibility we can do a walkthrough with mayor, council, whoever, borough people, us that are on some of the committees? I would like to have a walkthrough, so we can show you what the problems are over there. Like before summer, definitely before summer. Okay, I think that's about it. Now I have another meeting to go to.
Yes, Jerry.
Jerry Buckafusco, 409 Fifth Avenue. I was intrigued by the discussion on the skate park, and since I like to deal in facts, I'm going to request tomorrow of April, I'm going to put in an open request for all of the documents between the insurance company and the borough regarding the skate park, and I'm going to save her a call to you because she's probably going to call you and say, is that a public record? That is a public record.
Depends. I really would have to read whatever the correspondence says. I really can't shoot off the side of my hip on that.
What
I apologize.
correspondence?
If there's correspondence, I would have to determine whether or not it would be privileged. I would have to see whether or not one of the exceptions apply. Just because it's a communication doesn't necessarily mean it's discoverable through Oprah. So there's no, I can't say yes or no at this time until.
Well, you can be assured that I'm going to put that in, so you can start researching that tonight if you'd like. The second question is, is a tort claims notice a public record?
A tort claims notice is a public record.
Oh, good, because I'm going to be requesting one of those tomorrow also. And finally, we pride ourselves on being open to everyone. Whether you come from Wall Township or some other part of the state, Belmar is open to everyone. And I think if we're going to start penny pinching and looking at people who come from here and people who come from there using our facilities, I think that's a negative way to look at things. And I just think that the people who live here, who are the year-round residents, we should be welcoming everyone. So, the fact that somebody from another town might use the skate park is really irrelevant. I'm sure there are a lot of kids who play on the basketball court that don't come from Belmar. And there's probably hundreds of kids that go to the beach that don't come from Belmar. We're going to start charging them for use of our facilities? I don't think so. So, we should keep that in mind where, when we're putting forth things. It's for the general public. It makes the town look better, and it just gives us a whole better appearance and a philosophy that we're open to everyone. Thank you.
Hi, Maria Rondonaro, 1246 Pine Tree Way. I just wanted to thank Ms. Salmon. I know that she's been fundraising for the skate park. I do have a child who will be growing up and looking forward to using the skate park. I love that we live walkable to it. It's an important part of our community. It is one of the last free things that the kids around that age, especially adolescents, can do in Belmar, especially now that we're increasing and making them pay at the beach. This would be really goodwill if we could get something together, working with mayor and council, working with, I was sad that Ed wasn't here today because I wanted to ask him about grants. What kind of grants are out there? What can we do together as a community and actually fundraise to get this park back together and safe? Thank you.
Or the fundraisers for the skate park. If you know when they are, please let us know so we can support them.
Sure. You can go ahead right now in the, right across from the school. You can go to the skateboard shop, and they're selling the T-shirts for $20. So you can start there, and I bet you anything they'll take more than 20. So, I'll get more information for you, promise.
Did they ever establish a 501c3 for that?
That's a great question. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
No one is against the skate park, right? So everybody has to understand that this is something we just have to give it time and figure out the best, decisions for the town. So we're all for it.
Seeing none?
Can I have a motion to close the public session and adjourn the meeting?
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Happy Easter, everyone, and happy Passover. So, and thank you for coming out.